Hey everyone, Emmanuel here with another Systema training tip. This week I want to talk about massage. Okay, so very important for all of you to be able and make sure that you're getting at least one massage a month. And I don't care what you do, whether you're office work or whether you work out with, in Systema every day or every other day or whatever it is. If you're an active person or you have a stressful job, once a month should be a minimum that you go get a massage from a professional. Okay. So that is part of your training. Now, guys, anybody that's been an athlete, okay? So if you look at some of the professional athletes in the NHL, NBA, whatever it is, they're getting a massage every day for them to be able to do what they do. Now, again, that's extreme, but think of how much better you would operate if you had a massage every day. Now, that's not realistic. For me, getting a massage about at least once a month is a minimum, and sometimes I like to do it a couple of times a month if I get a chance. But in between that time, I work on myself. So this is what I want to talk to you about this week, is how to do the massages for yourself and stuff you can do that will kind of help you out and support that so that it lasts a little bit longer. So a couple of tools I use, and anybody that's ever seen me training understands the process I do. So rollers, these are great. Now this one here it's not bad. It's solid in the inside. It's got a little bit of cushion on the outside, which is fine. I'd prefer if it didn't have it there, but this is only one of the tools I use. They sell the styrofoam versions, the softer ones. Personally, I think those things are garbage. They're just too soft. They don't get what you need. The idea of a massage is not necessarily to relax a muscle, but what it does is it starts to tear away or starts to get at the connective tissue or the fascia. So if you think of like a saran wrap, like a little thin sheet of saran wrap, right, that goes over top of something. We have that all over our body, and it unfortunately accumulates a lot of tension. So you will get an athlete who can do the splits. So he's totally flexible, and you can see it. And he'll go to his trainer and he'll say, I feel tight. And you're like, how are you tight? You just did the splits. But the tension is not necessarily in the muscle. The tension is in the fascia, which is just between the fat, skin, and muscle. It kind of holds everything together, and it really stores, I would say, don't quote me on this, but I would say for me about 70% of my tension would be in fascia. And again, I work out every day, so I'm training every day in Systema and also on my own. So my body's quite active, and it will build up tension. And you have to study how to get rid of this. And there's lots of ways. It's not just stretching or massage. There's lots. But the massage part is important, and I'm going to show you how kind of I do it for myself. And then this goes in support with seeing also a professional massage therapist maybe once a month. And the good thing is that I use my massage therapist as a sounding board. So when they're working on me, they kind of say, okay, I noticed this and this and this. And then that, didn't magically happen. These problems were accumulative, right? So then when I'm working on my own, that's what I'm focusing on, because I have my opinion, and then I have a professional's opinion, which is somebody outside of me that says, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. So they're a great sounding board, especially if you find a good one. So the foam roller, or these kind of rolling things, they come in many different sizes. There's a small one, large one. They come in different diameters. This is 4 inches, they come 3 inches, 2 inches. Any one is fine, different patterns on the outside. They're all good. But what you want to do at the beginning is start big. I use my big one at first. And what I do is, like if I'm starting, I just work my whole body. And the whole routine might take me 10 minutes. It's not a lot, right? I'll start, let's say here on my calves, and just start rolling out my calves. And just with my body weight, what I'll notice is that the middle of my calf is not too bad, but when I turn my ankle sideways a little bit, I feel that muscle on the inside a little bit more. So I'll stay and I'll just kind of roll back and forth on the calves. And then I'll move the foam roller up towards like just underneath my bum. And then I'm going back and forth to just behind my knees, and I'm getting my hamstrings. And again, I can feel different types of tension, different ways I angle my feet, right? And then I'll just progress all the way up the body. I'll start, put it on my head, and then kind of roll back, right? And I can feel my entire spine opening up. Now, this is a great position because in many cases, we're always hunched forward. So this reverse position really feels quite great. you know, and I'll just kind of move on it, and I feel the two big muscles along the spine. And then I'll get up into the side, which is up where my lats are and my ribs, and really open up and bend the ribs. This is a great one for when you're taking strikes or wrestling. The ribs really need to be able to move, right? And what I'm looking for is a little bit of skeletal, a little bit of muscular, a little bit of fascial stuff. I'm feeling all kinds of things. Hard to explain in the video everything you feel, but you gotta just roll on this thing all over the body. Just literally roll yourself out. I even do the front too, like up into the chest and then up towards the stomach as well, like really getting into the stomach. And when you relax in the stomach, it's interesting to see this because I'll try to explain it. But my stomach starts here, and then I relax, and the upper body goes this way, the lower body goes this way, and the roller starts to push into my stomach. When I use the smaller one, it fits in a little bit better in my stomach, and as I start to sink in, I can actually feel like I'm starting to get to what's called the psoas, and that's a very interesting one. You can research that on your own. But a lot of people have tight backs. You can access a lot of the relaxation in your back from the front here in the stomach. After you do the big one, you can get these little ones, and they kind of get into real interesting spots, like smaller spots, especially if you look at the shape of it. It's gonna actually fit along my spine a lot better. So right now, it's literally just pushing on the spine and those muscles right around it. You also can get into some of the spots on the inside of the leg a little bit easier, which is where a lot of tension is stored as well. So these little ones and the big one can kind of get into different spots. So these are a couple of things, and I literally roll every part of my body out as much as I can roll out. You do it in front of the TV, you can do it before class. Then I have, even smaller than that, a lacrosse ball. These things are wonderful, okay? You can use them up against the wall, you can use them on the floor. Same idea applies. Like for me, I know that the back of my shoulder and my glutes, most common for people in their glutes to have lots of tension. So the lacrosse ball works great because you literally put it on one bum cheek and you just move on it. And you can feel all the like pinpoint spots now, because the rollers can only get to certain big areas. This kind of works on real small stuff, even up into my calves as well. And if I'm standing, even better, you get onto your feet. Like you get into like the arch of your foot and any things like that. So lacrosse ball, awesome. Roll all over it, my whole body. I'll just move it all around, roll on my chest, roll it on my ribs, on the stomach. It fits really good on certain spots, like you'll get into when you're rolling on it. And then furthermore, I have this as well. This is just basically a rubber pipe, but it's got a little bit of give. It's hard to see, a little bit of give. And I literally just, what I'll do is I'll literally just scrape the hell, and you can feel like as you do this, as you're working the skin, you'll feel friction, but you'll also feel that the connective tissue, the fascia that I'm telling you, is right underneath that skin layer, above the muscle, between the skin, kind of connecting everything. It's a connective tissue. And you really get in there, and especially like through the inside of the leg here, right? Behind, into the hamstring, behind the neck, on those big muscles on the neck. Again, you just start really, really tearing into the muscles and relaxing and tearing at the fascia that's bothering you. The last one I use is this. I got this a little while ago up at Vlad's, and I'll use it as more of I kind of tap myself with it, so it's almost like it again will break up fascia, believe it or not. Now they sell a little tool. I showed some of this on other videos where it's like a drill, but it's got a percussion. You see it all over advertising now on some of the social media stuff. It's basically like a pounder, and it just literally, like a real fast pounding action on the muscles. This again really helps with fascial tension. It really breaks apart fascia and starts to loosen up that connective tissue around your body. So this thing works very similar, just not as much, but it's got a weight and it's kind of flexible here. So I just kind of use this just all over my body, and it wakes up the skin. It definitely relaxes the muscle, and it definitely tears apart all the fascial stuff. What you want to be careful is you don't want to be hitting bones and stuff. That's not going to feel very good. But into the muscle, And I'll use it even the side version because it's a little bit more precise on the side. And you can get into all kinds of tense spots, right, that you have. So these are kind of the main ways I use to massage and to kind of support the massage that a professional is going to do, just to kind of stave off the tension that builds up from everyday life and from training and stuff. And what I find is I just show up to the massage therapist once a month in better condition every time. And because I'm in better condition, they're able to go further. So it's so interesting to work on yourself, guys. This is a big part of training. It's a big part of self-care for yourself. Like, you eat good, you drink good water, you eat good food. Take care of your body, really take care of it. Take the time, especially as you get older, 100% you need to do this. It'll quickly become the favorite part of your training. And for myself, I find that it heightens my body awareness, because I understand tension in my body and I understand how to get rid of tension in my body, so that when I'm training, I'm more apt to feeling it and getting rid of it as well. So it's not a nicety, guys. This is not an extra thing. It's an important part of your training. And it should be, I'd say, almost 50%. Like, really take care of yourself. Now, if you have a partner, it's obviously easier. They can work on you, right? Like, you'll see that in Systema classes often. If you got somebody you know, then that's great too. But just because you don't have somebody doesn't mean you can't do a lot. Like, I do a whole lot, because a lot of my training is on my own, whether it's through the martial art or whether I'm taking care of myself. I just work on myself. And I hope you do the same thing. And there's many of this, and maybe some of this is not new to you, but maybe hearing me say it reinforce how important this is. It's not a nicety, it's a must. It's a very important must for you to do. And I'm sure there's more, like there's different types of whips or different types of shapes of massage tools that you can use. It's endless. The main idea is not that is that you understand the benefit to it. So when I'm working this, I'm not just hitting myself and I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about what's going on in that muscle. I'm thinking about what's going on to the skin. And you'll see that different parts of your body will irritate you or hold more tension than others. Please pay attention. Those are the warning signs that you got to listen to, and build some awareness and try to get rid of it. Stretching is fine. The benefits of stretching are, will here or there. If it feels good, do it, great. But you'll see that sometimes even after stretching, you can't get rid of the tension. And if that's the case, it's because you're not doing enough massage. It's fascial tension, and that can only be removed through massage like this, right? And I mean, I'm being modest saying 10 minutes. If I'm watching something on TV or the news or whatever it is, I can do this for a half hour and I feel great. Really, it's one of my favorite parts of training. It gives me great vitality, and it really gets me super ready for the martial art aspects of what I do. Hope this helps you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.